For all of you, what do you think are the reasons for the enduring worldwide popularity of the character Indiana Jones and of the Indy franchise?
Who wants to go first?
If we knew, we would be billionaires because we would copy that, right? It's got to be the combination of, obviously, Spielberg and Harrison. It's a combination is evergreen. Such a charming character. We identify with him. He's lying, he's stealing, he's funny, he's very human. And then it's just craftsmanship on a very, very high level.
I think it's also the adventure, the globe-trotting. You really get to see characters from all over the world represented here in unique and different ways. And I think, yeah, with one actor at the helm for 4 decades is pretty impressive.
Briefly describe each of your characters. No spoilers, please.
I'm probably the easiest and the most vacant character to describe. Just basically Waller's lapdog. And if there was a moral compass, I think he's probably the opposite of that.
And the name of your character would
Oh,
be?
Kleber. Excuse me. I played Kleber, and I gave him a first name, even though they didn't give it to me. Eli Kleber.
Eli.
Eli. Yeah. You like that?
Yeah. I think mine was Christine. Play Agent Mason. She is a representative of the United States government.
And I play Jürgen Voller, and he is a scientist during the Second World War in Germany, and that should ring a bell.
What was it like for each of you to see Harrison Ford in his Indy costume on set for the first time and then acting opposite of him?
I saw it in Sicily, and they would do this thing where the stunt double Mike would, he basically looks just like Harrison almost with the hat and everything, and they would send him in like little golf carts to get the public to like chase that, and then Harrison would kind of go off to the side. And I met him leaning up against a wall in Sicily, and it's like, oh my God, it's the man in the flesh.
And I met him before we started shooting. I was supposed to meet Harrison, but then out of the trailer, Indiana Jones stepped out, hat, whip, everything. So I haven't met Harrison yet. I'm waiting for it.
Actually, I did not meet him in his full indie regalia. My first time was actually on screen.
How was the experience of being directed by James Mangold in this film for each of you?
We're first timers. You've been there before.
He treats everyone definitely equal. No one is spared. Even Harrison to Eton. Jim has a very creative way of giving you an intimate direction about 100 feet away, and it's always pretty enjoyable to hear who's getting that direction.
Yeah, he's definitely passionate about the craft, passionate about what's happening on screen and even around it. Very attentive to detail, but also works in the minutia of our interpersonal relationships, the intimacy of these scenes, and really his rhetoric is very visceral to getting actors to the place that he needs them to be.
I agree. I mean, it's a big film to carry. So it takes a lot of energy, and he does have that from from early morning to late evening. It's just a big ball of energy that I love working in that manner because he's very direct with the way he's guiding us.
How similar or different were each of your roles in the film from previous characters you've played?
Yeah, I feel like nothing has been repeated in this film. I feel like we're all probably bringing something different, and I don't feel like I feel like all the films that I'd done before gave me the tools or the arsenal to be able to go on this marathon. So it's almost like everything else was a great dress rehearsal for this character.
I've never been closely aligned with Nazis before.
Yep.
That's different. I think similar, something that would be similar would be, I guess, just looking really good.
Yeah, I've played characters who had ambitions on the world's behalf before, but never as a Nazi, so that will be the difference, I guess.
What would each of you say was your biggest challenge in making the film?
Well, yeah, I would say it's hard to align yourself with the ideology of that party. So that's a big thing to do, and it's a really big trick to play in the audience. And it can be quite simple of interchanging that with something else that you do genuinely care about. So for me, that was something hard to wrap my head around.
To get the tone of an Indiana Jones film is obviously the target here, and it's tricky because everybody knows what it is when they see it, but it's hard to put a finger on it. So I think we were just constantly trying to be aware whether we were inside the parameters of an Indiana Jones film. I did spend some time thinking about that. Yeah.
For me, I guess it's also just relinquishing the idea that you're in an Indiana Jones film and the gravity of that, the fact that it's going to be, the finale of this franchise, and not getting too overwhelmed by that fact, and just going to work and doing your job and staying grounded.
What is each of your fondest memory of making the film?
Well, like always,
It's PG.
getting new friends. This is a funny job because you have a very intense meeting with people for a while here, and then it's over. And this was no exception. We just met a fantastic bunch of new friends, and obviously seeing Harrison saying goodbye to it, the last scene he did was a very big moment.
Yeah, I would definitely say the camaraderie with the castmates, with the cast, and with the crew and creatives. Everyone, I think, had such a wonderful air of generosity and community, and that felt really special. And I loved working in London so much.
Yeah, being cooped up in a little tin can for months on end, you get to know people pretty well, and I think those are just some memories that you get to keep for the rest of your life.
And last one, why is it important for audiences to experience this film in a movie theater on a big screen?
Because it's a real movie. It is a real movie, which you need to see with other people on a big screen with sound. The old classic experience, because this is an old classic film.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best ways to really take in all the sacrifice and the work people have put into it. There wasn't a lot of green screen involved in the making of this, and so you're seeing real craft, and that is something that you should have to experience on a more magnified stage.
I agree. It's a roller coaster, and you gotta see that on a big screen, not on a small one.